outcome for a patient. But I know my daughter, she was 34 when she passed away. She needed people to talk to.
இறுக்கமான சூழ்நிலையில இருந்ததில்லை. நான் இருக்கேன் எனக்கு வீட்டு பக்கத்து வீட்டுல 2 பேர் மரணித்தவைகள். அந்த மனிதன முகங்கள்லயும் ஒரு மரண பயம் தெரியும். அப்ப இந்த சின்ன தனிப்பட்ட ரூம் இருந்தா வெறும் உடைய மாட்டினா பிறகு தனி ரூம் இருந்தா ஹஸ்பண்ட் ஒய்ஃப் இருக்கலாம். அது மூணு சப்போர்ட்டா இருக்கும். தனி ரூம்னா இன்ஃபெக்ஷனை தவிர்க்கலாம். பின்னர் ஹஸ்பண்டை நான் மகளை கொண்டே அட்மிட் பண்ணிட்டு நான்.
Can you all hear me? Yeah. Vanakkam and good evening everybody. It's only because of every one of you here today we are able to bring this beautiful evening of music, dance and generosity to help us build this palliative care ward at Jaffna Telipala Cancer Hospital in Sri Lanka. I really thank you, each of you, including the Saptaswara artists, and a special thanks to Vanny Hope and Gayatri. As you would know, with the current advances in medicine, we can do many things. We can cure diseases which were deemed incurable years ago. We can create life. We can even stop a birth. But something you cannot stop is death. If you are bound, everyone here is bound to die one day. But if all of you think we can change or modify the way someone dies, that's in our hands. We can make someone die pain-free. We can make that happen as a peaceful process with comfort and with the dear ones around you. We can make someone exit with dignity. That's in our hands. It's in your hands. So we need your help to do this. And this is what Palam does. So Palam is an Australian-based charity. Unlike Vanny Hope, we are a baby organization. We only started last year in Canberra. We mainly look at bridging the gaps among multicultural people in Australia, or the ethnicities in Australia, and also in Sri Lanka, regional India, and even the regional or developing world. We don't want to duplicate things, but we want to bridge the gaps. That's what we do. The one thing we are doing as a principal project now is building this end-of-life care at Jaffna Telipala Cancer Hospital. Unlike our society here, where we are so lucky, we have Sri Lanka or regional India. If you look at the hospitals in Sri Lanka or India, it's a common bed. It's like a dormitory with beds stuck to each other. There's good medicine, but there's not enough space. If you visit a typical hospital in Sri Lanka, you can even see people dying, one on one side, other patient on the same bed, with their head on the other one's tail end. So that's a common sight. I've even seen last month. The patients, even with incurable disease, they don't have a single room, and there is no resources to support them exiting or battling the long-term illnesses with comfort. Thanks to Vanny Hope, and Palam with Vanny Hope is a collaboration. We have started building this end-of-life care ward at the hospital. The project would be a 3-story building. The initial phase is a ground floor which has got it's only a small one, but two rooms with attached bathrooms in a common area. So patients' relatives can stay with them for the last few weeks of their death. The plan would be to build the next 2 floors will be a common ward for palliative care. The whole project estimates about $500,000 or $500,000. The initial phase is about $200,000. We have started the building in February. It should finish by end of this year, early next year. Just imagine if one of ours in Sri Lanka or anywhere in the world where we don't have any services and having a death like we have heard that.
But let's get on with the show and let's see what we're here for. Let's enjoy the night. Dipali, if I can ask you to join me up on stage, if you want to just carefully come up at the stairs at the front. So I'd just like to introduce our major sponsor for this evening, which is Commonwealth Bank. We are absolutely grateful for the support that you have provided us today, and Dipali, obviously the lovely Tari, you'll see in a minute as she comes up, is leading the charge here and supporting, and they have a bit of an exciting thing they want to share with you, as well as they're going to share some initiatives to help other Aussies like us, everyday Aussies here and there. So I'll pass it over to Dipali. Thank you so much.
everyone. I know we all are patiently waiting for the main event to start, so I won't take much of your time today. Let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Dipali. I work for Combank proudly, and we are super excited to join this event today. We are going to witness something truly special. It's not just a fashion show, but it is something with a great purpose. This beautiful show by Tari by Gayatri is not just about elegant saris and stunning designs. It's about weaving together compassion, culture, and humanity. Combank is proud to support this event because we believe in the power of people coming together to create lasting change. The theme of this event, Saptaswara, the 7 notes, is such a fitting reminder. It's just like music, where each note has its own beauty and Vani Hope. 2 organizations that are bringing together education, health, hope, and hope to the families who need it the most. Their efforts also remind us that every act of giving builds that when the heart and the hands come together, we can achieve something far greater than ourselves. A big thank you to all the participants as well who have stepped into the stage. Each of you are, I know, beautifully presenting. And of course, a very special thank you and a recognition to Gayatri, giving us the opportunity to be a part of this wonderful evening. We also have organized a door prize for the lucky winner. So I will get Eva to pick the lucky winner for tonight and will present a nice hamper.
So it's yellow color ticket, number 9, D9.
Number 9, D9. It's yellow, number 9. Have everybody checked their tickets? That's better now. Everybody is looking in their bags. We love that. Come on, lucky winner.
A10, red A10. Yes! Not a 0-1, right? A 1-0. Has he got the goods? He's got the goods! I wanted to share a little bit about Gayatri because she didn't want this to happen, but we all insisted it had to happen. And over the course of the time preparing for the show, I got to know her and got to see how much of a sweet, fun, witty, humid person she is. But behind that, there's a lot of depth to this show. And the reason why I want to tell you this is not just so we can recognize her and appreciate her as both an artist and a person, but also to allow you guys to see what she is seeing, her world through the vision that she is putting on this stage. So think of this as a canvas and you're about to watch a light painting. Okay, that's poetic. Anyway. All right. This is your passion. And with the blessings of her family, she embarked on this journey that has brought us amazing nights that we see tonight and previous. So, what's inspired her to get to this stage? And what are some things that you're going to see today that is going to be, I guess, embodied through her childhood? So she grew up in Madras, seeing saris, tasting amazing smells, just everyday life, temples, festivals of India and what it brought to her. And you're going to see that in hand-woven textiles through stories accompanied with these textiles. And that passion still continues with her to this day. After her last collection, Navarasa, she sought more inspiration from her childhood of music lessons. That's where we got Saptaswara, As Dipali put it, there were 7 notes, and each of those notes today will be weaving in saris, music, dance, and culture for you tonight. So, I'm going to hand this over, and you don't need to hear my jokes anymore. I know they've been so bad. But
Tata tum takita takate takita tom. Tata tum takita takate takita tei. Tata tum takita takate takita tom. Tata tum takita takate takita tei. Tata tum takita takate takita tom. Tata tum takita takate takita tei. Tata tum takita takate takita tom. Tata tum takita takate takita tei. Tata tum takita takate takita tom. Tum takita takate takita tata. Tum tata num takita 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 tom. Tata tum takate एकदन्तायकं गणपते विघ्नराजायकं गणपते वक्रतुण्डायकं गणपते बालचन्द्रायकं गणपते एकदन्तायकं गणपते विघ्नराजायकं गणपते वक्रतुण्डायकं गणपते बालचन्द्रायकं गणपते एकदन्तायकं गणपते विघ्नराजायकं गणपते वक्रतुण्डायकं गणपते गणपते भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्
be the mightiest. We've been in a tight spot. Fight together.
the beginning. कौसल्या सुप्रजा रामपूर्वा सन्ध्या प्रवर्तते उत्तिष्ठ नरसार्दूल कर्तव्यं दैवमात्मिकम् कौसल्या सुप्रजा रामपूर्वा सन्ध्या प्रवर्तते उत्तिष्ठ नरसार्दूल कर्तव्यं दैवमात्मिकम् उत्तिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ गोविन्द उत्तिष्ठ गरुडध्वज उत्तिष्ठ कमलाकान्त त्रैलोक्यं मङ्गलं कुरु मातः समस्तजगतां मधुकैटभारे वक्षो विहारिणि मनोहर दिव्यमूर्ते श्रीस्वामिनिश्रितजनप्रियदानशीले श्रीवेङ्कटेश दयिते तव सुप्रभातम् तव सुप्रभातमरविन्दलोचने भवतु प्रसन्नमुखचन्द्रमण्डले दिविशङ्करे द्रवहिताभिरर्चिते